What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the PHDJ podcast with your two hosts. I'm Joe Bunn, and that on the other end
Mike
is
Walter.
Mike freaking Walter.
I like that, freaking Walter.
So good morning to you, Mike, first off.
Good morning, Joe. How are you?
Good morning or good evening whenever you're podcast listening to this. We appreciate y'all. Real quick, just want to start out again by making sure that if you are an avid listener, you are a member of the brand new Facebook discussion group that we created. Just look for PHDJ podcast discussion group and we will approve you to become a member. We're moderating the comments and moderating the people we let in just so it doesn't turn into some kind of a troll fest, but we'd love to have you in there to keep talking about the podcast after they drop.
Amen.
All right.
Very good.
So thank you. So today's topic, Mike, I've told you this before, but and I think you know, but when people first get into the DJ's vault, which we talked a lot about last week, I won't bore the reader or the listeners with that again, but they take an entry survey. And I was telling you, we got a lot of single ops. We've got a lot of part-timers that want to go full-time.
Right.
But we also ask, I think, what is the main issue? What is the main area of the DJ business you're having problems with? And more often than not, it's about hiring or scaling, either one,
right.
to getting more
Finding
DJs than, just
right.
them.
Right.
So I started thinking about it, and it's been a little while, actually, since I've hired a new DJ, probably about a year now, since we picked up a couple of young guys. Knock on wood, thank goodness, because, my veterans are not getting any younger. And so I needed a kind of a new regime. So I picked up some younger guys last year. But I started thinking about, like, what did I say to them in the interview that made me realize they were Bunn DJ Company material or elite entertainment material? So I kind of want to walk through that process. And I think this is going to be an interesting topic, mainly because you and I are so different in who we hire. You are find a guy or girl with an amazing personality at, I'm just saying Applebee's, and I know you and Kelly probably don't go to Applebee's, but and
we've been known to. We're not that snobby.
maybe they do.
It's funny. We have an Applebee's right up the road. I like it. Kelly calls it Crapplebee's, so she's not a big fan.
That's how
I don't mind Applebee's.
See, I went to one. I think when I went to Tennessee, one of those DJ conferences a couple years ago, and I was like, Ainsley has shit on this place for years, and I'm like, I kind of enjoy it.
I'm not saying it's fine dining,
right.
But you need a quick burger at the bar or something. It's you can't go wrong. But
I didn't hate it either.
Well, you could share that with Ainsley. Kelly calls it Crapplebee's. That's her.
Same with the K&W, right. Any kind of cafeteria with the word cafeteria. Yeah, she's like
cafeteria.
She's like, it smells like old people in here. I'm like, because it's full of old people.
It's a lot of old people. Yeah.
It's delicious though. Anyway, so
you're right. I would rather find somebody who has zero experience. However, I don't throw somebody out of my office.
No.
As a matter of fact, I'm training currently, and I'm if you're watching some video, I'm gesturing to my basement because this is where I train every Monday night.
That's right.
Two people, one of them has only been with me a couple of months, but he came to me with a lot of DJing experience.
Oh, good.
He needed the help with emceeing because that wasn't his forte. But the guys, he's hung out after our trainings and we've done like mix offs. He's a better mixer than I am, like beat for beat and scratch and everything else. But it's the emceeing. So it's not like I shut the door, but yes, I would much rather find somebody who's never done anything in the DJ industry and teach them from A to Z. Whereas you would rather find somebody with the experience and maybe Bunn, DJ kind of gloss them up to your level, but not have to take them from beginning steps. So, so where do you want me to start or do you want to start?
Well, I just kind of want to know, Mike, like what are some of the things, like I come in and I'm interviewing with you. How do you start that interview?
So first,
go back us up. And
you have a 4:00 appointment in the office. You come in, Lynn will greet you and give you an application to fill out.
Okay.
Assuming you didn't walk in with a resume, 98% of the people who interview for a DJ job don't have a resume.
Right.
Especially the younger, teenagers, 20, 21 years old. So they fill out the application. Lynn then brings the application to me before I sit down with them. And I have a chance to kind of scan through it. There are questions on my application like, Do you have any entertainment experience? What have you done? So that's
Mm-hmm.
where, you know, I was in a school play, or I was in the band, or I did this.
Gotcha.
Those are the things that I look for, because those are the questions I'm going to ask when I sit down with them. And it's important to not ask yes or no questions, open-ended. So tell me about, oh, I see you were in a school play. Tell me about, you know, your acting experience. Oh, I see you play bass in a band. Tell me about playing live. Tell me about, how does it feel, you know, loading out at 2 a.m., those types of things. What was the last concert you went to is one of the questions. Oh, I see you're a U2 fan. You know, are they your favorite band? That type of thing. Because more just
Hold up a second, Mike. You locked up. You locked up a second there.
okay. Keep going, because I'm recording on my end, so I'll have my audio.
I got you.
Yeah.
So what were you saying?
I'm looking for a conversation. I want to talk to these people, and in having that conversation, I'm looking for clues.
Yeah.
I'd rather work with an optimistic person than a pessimistic person. And you can tell that in a conversation. You can tell that if somebody is upbeat and positive, or, you know, woe is me and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I'm looking for eye contact. I'm looking for charisma. I'm looking for that, you know, I'm picturing, does this person have the communication skills to put a microphone in their hand and for them to lead the room and do introductions? I'm listening to their vocal quality. There's not a lot you can do with a voice. I can't make a high squeaky voice, you know, much lower in the range. So I'm listening for, how does it sound in my ear? I know some people hate this, but I'm also looking at their look. We are in an aesthetic business, and you know, does somebody have a sense of fashion? Are they in fairly good shape? Are they, you know, do they present themselves well, or do they look like a schlub? Those are things that I'm also looking for, as well as listening for.
Yeah, I mean, we're similar in that early the pre-interview, if you will. You know, I've often talked in the vault, and I made that whole hiring the music video about, you know, if we put an ad out and somebody responds, then I'm looking at it over here on my other screen. We send out this kind of questionnaire that we want them to fill out. It's super basic. It looks like about a dozen questions, Mike. How long have you been DJing? Do you have your own equipment? Do you have reliable transportation? And honestly, it's almost just a test to see if they'll fill it out and send it back.
Do you ask for video footage in that?
No,
I'm surprised you don't. I mean, a lot of people probably won't have it.
Right.
I would ask for, do you have any raw footage or demo video of you DJing? Because I mean, if they have been DJing, then that would be a great way for you to kind of check them out.
Absolutely. And not waste pulling them in if I saw something a glaring, not able to fix kind of thing. So if they send it back and the grammar's good, and you know, they know how to use the shift key and things like that, then I'll usually say, you know, this looks good, come in and meet with me. And I'll have the sheet printed out in front of me when they come in, and I'll reference it. But normally I'll just start by saying, you know, the same kind of thing I do on the webinars in the vault, like, walk me back through the beginning. Like, how did you get into DJing? And you know, they'll give me the story. You know, I was in high school, and, you know, nobody in my town was really doing it, and everybody kept asking me to make mixtapes, blah, blah, whatever it is.
Right.
And I love that. I love to hear that. Then I want to know, well, tell me about your system, you know, because I want to know, in my head, I'm doing the math. Like, am I going to have to invest in this guy or
You
girl?
mean sound system?
Yeah.
Tell me what you're playing.
Yeah. And if they're like, well, I've got some Gemini speakers, and I got a, you know, they named some brand controller I've never heard of.
I got a Radio Shack mixer that I bought from my dad.
Yeah, and I got a mic that I got from my dad, and you know, I know that's already in an illegal frequency. Like, everything about this is just adding up.
Or you know what's even funnier, and this says a lot about somebody's emceeing focus. I've hired people who have DJ'd who have a sound system but don't even have a microphone.
Oh, wow.
Because they're used to, they you know, they just play basement parties or just mix in their bedroom. Sometimes the cordless microphone is the one thing we have to put together for. And that tells me a lot about where their emphasis is. Their emphasis isn't on the speaking part. It's on the just mix. Playing the music part, which again, isn't a bad thing. It means that's the part I have to show them. You know,
if they had to make an announcement, they would take the headphones like you're wearing,
do the reverse,
and plug it in.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And then I also, and then what I usually do, Mike, is I kind of pivot and say, well, what else do you do? And again, like, I don't think that's an illegal thing. I know you can't ask people's age. There's a few other things you can't ask, but I'll say, what's your other job?
Right.
And that tells me a ton about them. You know, if they say, I work at the Apple Store. Well, to me, there's a special place in heaven for people that work at somewhere like the Apple Store or like a Verizon. Like, if you can deal with customers at that level that are having the worst day of their life because of this $1,500 brick, and you're going to fix it for them, you can be a great mobile DJ.
You've got customer service skills.
Yeah. Or if they say, you know, I work for Red Hat, I sell software. Oh, okay. This guy's a salesman. He can definitely sell DJ services in this back office. Or, I'm a property manager at so-and-so apartment community. And I know that right then they're probably managing 10 people, from the landscape guy to the, front desk girl, car salesman, like anything. Like, it doesn't really matter. I mean, there'd probably be a few jobs where I'd be like, ooh, I don't know if I'm trying to think of somebody right off the top of my head. Maybe a prison guard. I don't know. But I'm just trying to really get inside their head and see what else they do and how it can parlay into this.
Well, let me interrupt you there, because you made that reference about prison guard. I have made the point that civil servants sometimes it's, in my opinion, and I know some people are going to call me out on this, it's not a great job to have this as a part-time job, because if there's an emergency, their number one priority is their day job.
Sure.
And so, on a Saturday afternoon, if your guy
saying cop, fire.
Exactly. If your guy calls you and says, there's a fire I need to respond to, you're going to have to go, you're going to have to find somebody else to cover tonight's wedding.
Scramble. Right.
That's a really bad position to be in. So I'm not saying never hire a civil servant. And I know some people might be upset that I even said that, but it's something to keep in mind. If you have a system, especially if you're guaranteeing specific hosts, I have a hard time guaranteeing somebody that I know his day job could snap their fingers and he has to leave me hanging. That's a tough position to be in.
Great call. And then, sometimes the conversation will pivot. I usually don't lead the conversation about family, but sometimes it'll go there. Love to know about their kids, or, how long they've been married or whatever. But I always kind of bring it back at the end about seeing other DJs. And it's kind of a question that you can use in your bridal or your wedding consultations too. Like, well, who was the last DJ you saw? What did you like about him? What did you hate about him?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Yeah. And I kind of always bring it back at the end with that. But I think the main thing I always do, so I always listen. But at the end, I'm the one that wants to do the talking, because I want them to be crystal clear as to what. And again, there would be two different conversations at the end of this thing, Mike. If in my head, I just wanted to get this guy out of here and knew he wasn't a good fit, I just would say, hey, we'll be in touch or something like that.
Right. I'm meeting a lot of people this week.
Right.
And
I've got tons of interviews, even if it was the only person that week. I got it. I'm going through resumes, whatever.
It's not you, it's me.
Right. But if I really wanted this person to become a part of the team, I would say, listen, here's what needs to happen next. I need you to leave, and when you get home, look at your calendar and send me a list of dates, Saturdays, that you're willing to go out and shadow one of my guys or myself. Right. And I also am very clear about this. Realize that you are kind of starting at the bottom of a big roster of DJs. But if you're patient and willing to train and willing to get good, I promise you it could be a year from now, you're going to be as busy as you want to be.
Right.
And I feel like with that kind of speech, I'm not leading them astray that they're going to be playing next weekend. And I've told that story to you before about this guy that came here, and he moved here from Florida. He came to my office. He had like 30 hoops in each ear and a Hawaiian shirt on. And he said that God sent him here and that he was supposed to work for me and that he needed to start next weekend. And I was like, yeah, I think he misled you, because it doesn't work that way here. You know what I mean?
Right.
I didn't know of any other way to say it, but I was like, no, We don't,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, if you're not in this industry, you might not understand it, but right. I mean, we all know I can't get you a headlining wedding next weekend.
right.
And this goes back to one of the
Well, it's not
differences.
even if you were a badass, like you're not going to hyper jump Dominic and
Right,
these
right,
people that have been with you for
right.
20
And so
years.
this goes back to one of the differences between Joe's system and my system.
Yeah.
I can get somebody work that quickly because when I'm hiring, and this goes back to why I'm hiring people with little to no experience,
Yeah.
they're coming in as assistants. They're not coming in as, I'm not plugging them in to be the main DJ on a job. I'm plugging them in to be the second or sometimes even the third hands-on person to help out.
Mm-hmm.
So I can often plug somebody in that Saturday. I meet somebody on a Monday or Tuesday and I love them. I understand a great DJ is probably ADD. They want to get going. They want to, I want to work this weekend. Great. Now you're not making headlining money.
Yeah.
You're going to make, $75, $90 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But at least I can get you on your first job sometimes
True.
immediately. And that's also where my bar for entry is probably low.
Mm-hmm. You locked up.
Did I lock up again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said my bar for entry is lower.
It's lower just because I'm looking to hire assistants,
right. Yeah.
I don't need to plug them in. And a lot of times the assistant role is where I kind of weed people out.
Sure.
You do a couple of assisting jobs. You work with me, you work with Tom and Dominic, who are going to give me their feedback. If they say, yeah, Mike, that person doesn't have it, then that's the end of it. No harm, no foul.
Sure.
It's not like they screwed up a headlining wedding.
Right.
Because
or you wasted all this time training them or something.
Right. So I want to go back and ask you about something that you said. You look for grammar in their first response. Why does that matter?
Because, Mike, our system's so different. All my guys from the very inception of the lead being qualified. So, the office handles the lead coming in. Randy sends out the pricing. The couple responds back, looks great. We'd love to meet with a DJ. At that very second, it leaves our hands and goes to DJ Mike. And DJ Mike is now communicating.
So DJ Mike has to write an email to them and say,
DJ Mike has to write an email to a bride that's probably spending $50 to $150K on a wedding. She's educated. I know it's knock on wood. It's, it's never burned me, but maybe I have lost some superstar DJs to add poor grammar.
Yeah, I don't think that would ever be a deal breaker for me. I remember having a conversation with somebody once who said, similar to me, he has somebody fill out an application when they come in. And he goes, the main thing I'm looking for is spelling. And I'm like, I could give a rat's ass about spelling, man. If you've got a personality, you can wow people.
Right.
I couldn't care if you know the difference between there, and there, or the proper your in a sense.
Yeah.
I could care less
that
because
drives me
first
nuts.
of all, you're assuming that your couples are educated. I think, listen, I get emails from my brides that are littered with grammatical errors.
True. Me too.
And I love it when then I sit down with them and go, so what do you do? And they go, I'm a teacher. And I go, our future is ruined. But
thank God I don't have kids.
But yeah, I don't know, man. To me, that's the 20th thing I would worry about on the list. And if they check off, 9 of the first 10, man, I could care less.
I want them. Right. I got you. It's just different.
So it's just a different thing. It's a different emphasis. Maybe if somebody was on the bubble, I might go, oh yeah, and they can't even spell. But I can't imagine that ever being a deal breaker for me.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mike, you want to add?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Although I should give a little shameless plug here. If you want more information on this, I write about this extensively in a book called Running Your MultiOp, which is available at djmikewalter.com. Matter of fact, the whole first section of this book is titled Finding Talent.
Yeah.
Because that's how critical I think this is to the lifeblood of any multi-op, is constantly bringing in new people and constantly finding new talent. So the entire first section of my book is dedicated to, what to look for, how to interview, how to get them started, all of those different things.
Highly recommended. I own it. I've read it. Even last week, I reached out to Mike because my sister, who has an office, a Bunn DJ company in Montana, was having trouble hiring. And I told her, I said, let's just pivot, let's train these people from the ground up like Mike does. And so I reached out to Mike to find out what the ad should read like.
Right.
And we have some interviews tomorrow on the phone.
Cool.
So
good luck. It's exciting. I'll tell you what, Kelly will tell you, when I have interviews set up,
Yeah.
I wake up that morning with such a sense of excitement
Yeah.
and wonderment, because I've literally, met superstars in my life when I
Sure.
interview, and
Mm-hmm.
I find it hard to control myself when I do. Like, I'm sitting there going, I want to hire this person
Yeah.
right away, but you're trying to
You're
show
trying
me,
to play it cool.
yeah,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, I love it. And, sometimes it doesn't turn out that way. Sometimes you have 12
Yeah.
interviews set up and only 5 show, and,
Yeah.
they're all clunkers. But there are plenty of times where, you have 1 or 2 interviews in a day that are like, holy shit, this person.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's Seacrest Jr. here.
Right. Exactly. So,
And also,
man,
guys,
throw the net.
and I'll tell you this, guys, and I think Mike would admit to this too, that we've gone through interviews and a guy has walked out and I've been like, yes, sir, I just hired a superstar, and 6 months later they're gone.
Yeah.
After
Doesn't always pan out.
training,
Yep.
yeah, their ego blows up, or they are late, or something didn't come out in the interview. It happens.
Or they work for you and then move back to Kansas, which happened to me once. Yeah. I mean, listen, it doesn't always work out, but I think Joe's roster and my roster and so many other great multi-ops from around the country that I'm aware of, that they are proof positive that it does work out, a lot of times if you plug away at it.
Last comment I'll make on this, because I know it is very frustrating to hire people sometimes, guys, especially when you're getting that first 1, 2, 3 DJs. I will tell you this, and I think Mike would agree with this as well. When you get to a certain level, let's say 4, 5, 6 DJs, and you're known in your area, whether it's as big as New Jersey or as small as Raleigh, then everybody wants to work for you.
Right.
Even if they're working for somebody else, they want to work for you because you're the head honcho, you're the best. So be patient, hang in there, try and get that first few guys. And once you start building that roster, I promise you that getting that next 4, 5, 10 guys becomes very easy, because everybody in town wants to work.
Just like the more gigs you do, the more referrals you're going to get, because the more, guests who are seeing you and grabbing your card and want you, it's the same thing. The more other DJs are hearing about you, or maybe even being a guest at one of your parties and going, I got to work for that guy. So yeah, no doubt. It definitely takes on a momentum of its own.
Yes. So hang in there, guys. Thanks again, Mike, for being on. You're the man. And
you're the man, Joe.
And everybody for listening. Again, Facebook group is called the PHDJ Podcast Discussion, and find that group, get in it, and we will keep the chatter going about these podcasts.
Cool.
Later, guys.
Later.